Let me ask you something uncomfortable. You wake up every morning, you take your blood pressure pill, and somewhere in the back of your mind you wonder, is this the rest of my life? A pill that causes fatigue, that depletes magnesium, that makes you dizzy every time you stand too fast, just to keep a number from climbing? What if I told you that a seed, one single seed, that costs $1 per week, has been sitting in grocery stores for centuries, and that when men over 45 eat just 1 tablespoon of it every morning on an empty stomach, their blood pressure begins dropping within days? Not through a pharmaceutical override, but because the seed is literally feeding the machinery inside your arterial walls that your body forgot how to run on its own. And here is the part your doctor has never mentioned. This seed does not just lower blood pressure, it changes the structure of your arteries. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand why the cardiologist's waiting room and the supplement aisle have both been pointing you away from the one thing that actually works. I am Dr. Christine Rodriguez. I have spent years studying how food compounds interact with cardiovascular biology at the cellular level, and flaxseed is one of the most underestimated, underprescribed, and most clinically validated seeds in the history of nutritional medicine. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what happened when I added 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed to my morning routine for 7 days, what the science says, what my body experienced, and exactly how you can replicate it starting tomorrow. Now let me tell you exactly what happens inside your body when you eat ground flaxseed every morning for 7 days over 45. 3 things change. And by the time I finish describing all 3, you will understand why this $1 seed does more for your blood pressure, your arteries, and your cardiovascular health than most of what you have been prescribed to manage them. The first thing that happens is your blood pressure begins falling. Not from one mechanism, but from 3 running simultaneously from the very first dose. Imagine this. Inside every artery is a single cell layer called the endothelium, the inner lining of the pipe. When that lining cracks from oxidative stress and inflammation, the pipe narrows, stiffens, and pressure builds. Flaxseed attacks this from 3 directions at once. Its alpha-linolenic acid, 2.4 grams per tablespoon, reduces the prostaglandin E2 and thromboxane A2, causing arterial smooth muscle to contract. Its lignans activate estrogen receptor beta in endothelial cells, upregulating nitric oxide synthase and increasing the nitric oxide that signals arterial muscle to relax. And its soluble fiber forms a viscous gel binding bile acids in the intestine, forcing the liver to draw from circulating LDL for new bile synthesis, reducing the arterial LDL burden simultaneously. Research in the Journal of Nutrition found daily flaxseed over 12 weeks reduced systolic blood pressure by 10 millimeters of mercury and diastolic by 7 millimeters of mercury in men with hypertension, matching low-dose ACE inhibitor outcomes. 3 mechanisms, 1 tablespoon, every morning. Still with me? Good, because what I am about to share next is the part most health videos skip entirely. The second thing that happens is your hormonal balance begins shifting, and this is the mechanism that makes flaxseed uniquely powerful for men over 45. Imagine this. After 45, your body's testosterone to estradiol conversion through aromatase accelerates. More visceral fat means more aromatase, more testosterone converting to estrogen, and progressively less free testosterone for energy, muscle, libido, and cardiovascular protection. Flaxseed's lignans, converted by gut bacteria into enterolactone and enterodiol, inhibit aromatase, reducing this conversion. These enterolignans simultaneously reduce SHBG binding affinity, freeing more bioavailable testosterone for cardiovascular and muscular function. Research in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found flaxseed lignin supplementation significantly reduced estradiol to testosterone ratios in men over 45, improved free testosterone indices, and reduced CRP and IL-6, the inflammatory markers elevated estradiol drives in aging male cardiovascular tissue. The third thing that happens is your gut microbiome begins producing the short-chain fatty acids and enterolignins that travel directly to your arterial walls. Imagine this. Your gut and your arteries are in constant conversation. When flaxseed's prebiotic fiber feeds the microbiome, it produces butyrate, the short-chain fatty acid that reduces intestinal permeability, stops bacterial endotoxins crossing into the bloodstream, and directly reduces the NF-kappa B arterial wall inflammation, driving plaque and stiffening. Flaxseed lignins simultaneously provide the substrate for enterolactone, which has documented antioxidant activity in the arterial wall itself, reducing LDL oxidation that macrophages convert into plaque. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found 12 weeks of flaxseed significantly increased butyrate-producing bacteria, reduced serum endotoxin levels, and improved endothelial function markers. 3 changes, 7 days, $1. Now let me show you exactly how to get all 3. If you are serious about your health after 45, this video was made for you. I have given you the 3 biological mechanisms. Now I am going to give you the exact methods, the quantities, the timing, and the preparation details that determine whether flaxseed works at full therapeutic potency or does almost nothing at all. Here's what 7 days looks like. Day 1 and 2. Soluble fiber forms its viscous gel. Bile acid binding begins, and most men notice more regular bowel movements within 48 hours. The gut microbiome is already responding. Day 3 and 4. ALA incorporates into cell membrane phospholipids. Morning blood pressure readings trend 2 to 4 millimeters lower. Day 5 and 6. Enterolactone accumulates. Aromatase inhibition shifts the estradiol to testosterone ratio. Energy and morning vitality improve noticeably. Day 7. All 3 mechanisms are operating together. The seed is no longer an experiment. It is a daily protocol. Starting tonight. 1 decision before the methods. Buy ground flaxseed, not whole flax seeds. This is non-negotiable. Whole flax seeds pass through the digestive tract almost completely intact. The hard outer shell resists digestion, and the majority of the alpha-linolenic acid, lignins, and soluble fiber passes unused. Ground flaxseed releases every therapeutic compound during digestion. Buy pre-ground or grind whole seeds yourself in a coffee grinder. Store in an airtight container in the refrigerator. Ground flaxseed oxidizes within days at room temperature, converting its therapeutic omega-3 into the oxidized lipid compounds that harm arteries rather than protecting them. Ground, refrigerated, sealed, starting today. Here is exactly how to use flaxseed every morning for 7 days. The first method is the foundational morning ground flaxseed protocol. 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed in warm water or yogurt on a completely empty stomach every single morning. Every morning before any food or coffee, mix 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed into 200 milliliters of warm water and stir vigorously. Drink immediately before the gel solidifies. The warm water activates the soluble fiber expansion, beginning the viscous gel formation in the stomach that slows gastric emptying and extends the bile acid binding activity through the entire morning digestive window. If the texture is challenging, mix into plain unsweetened yogurt instead. The probiotics in yogurt synergize with flaxseed's prebiotic fiber, amplifying the beneficial bacteria response that produces butyrate and arterial protective enterolactone. 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed. Warm water or plain yogurt. Empty stomach. Every single morning. This is the foundation everything else builds on. The second method is the pre-meal omega-3 amplification preparation 3 times per week. 15 minutes before lunch. Mix 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed with 1 teaspoon of cold-pressed flaxseed oil in 150 milliliters of water. The combined ALA from seed and oil accelerates the thromboxane to prostacyclin balance shift more rapidly than ground seed alone. Add a pinch of black pepper. Piperine extends the lignin metabolite absorption window and reduces hepatic metabolism rate. Ground flaxseed plus cold-pressed oil. Black pepper. 15 minutes before lunch, 3 times per week. The third method is the evening flaxseed and magnesium restoration preparation 3 nights per week before bed. Magnesium glycinate restores eNOS through calmodulin stabilization. Flaxseed lignans activate the same enzyme through estrogen receptor beta. Together they activate eNOS through 2 separate molecular entry points simultaneously during the overnight vascular repair window. Mix 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed in warm whole milk. Add 200 milligrams magnesium glycinate. Add honey. The fat in milk enhances lignin absorption. Enterolactone precursors are partially lipophilic. 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed. Warm milk. Magnesium glycinate. Honey. 3 evenings per week. Now, beyond blood pressure, hormonal balance, and gut-artery communication, 2 other things happen when you eat flaxseed every morning after 45 that are worth knowing from day 1. The first is prostate protection through flaxseed's lignin inhibition of 5-alpha reductase, the enzyme converting testosterone to DHT that drives benign prostatic hyperplasia. Enterolactone and enterodiol inhibit this enzyme at the same active site as pharmaceutical finasteride, reducing DHT without the sexual dysfunction side effects. Research in urology found flaxseed supplementation significantly reduced PSA levels and urinary symptom scores in men with BPH over 6 months. The second is cholesterol improvement through bile acid sequestration and ALA-driven HMG-CoA modulation. The soluble fiber gel binds bile acids exactly as pharmaceutical cholestyramine does, forcing the liver to draw from circulating LDL. Research in the Canadian Medical Association Journal found daily flaxseed reduced LDL by 14% over 3 months without statin side effects. And here is the one surprising fact about flaxseed that completely changes how you think about the word natural on every supplement label you have ever read. Flaxseed contains more lignans per gram than any other food ever measured. 800 times more than the next highest source, which is sesame seeds. 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed contains more lignans than an entire week of a typical Western diet. The pharmaceutical industry has spent billions developing selective estrogen receptor modulators, SERMs, that do what flaxseed lignans do naturally at the estrogen receptor beta level. Those drugs cost hundreds of dollars per month and carry documented risks of blood clots and bone loss. Flaxseed costs $1 per week. The mechanism is the same receptor. The evidence shows superior safety and comparable efficacy. 1 tablespoon, $1. The gap between what medicine prescribes and what the evidence supports has never been wider. Now, let me explain exactly why your body needs flax seeds specifically after 45, and what stops working in your mitochondria that this seed directly restores. After 45, the mitochondria in your endothelial cells face a specific threat: progressive omega-3 depletion from the membrane phospholipids that maintain mitochondrial inner membrane fluidity. Electron transport chain complexes 1 and 3 are embedded in this inner membrane. Their electron transfer efficiency depends directly on the fluidity of the lipid bilayer surrounding them. When phospholipids become saturated from omega-6 excess and omega-3 deficiency, electron transfer slows, ROS production per unit of ATP increases, and mitochondrial oxidative damage accelerates. This is the cellular energy crisis behind fatigue and vascular aging after 45. Flaxseeds ALA incorporates into endothelial cell membrane phospholipids within days, restoring membrane fluidity, improving electron transfer efficiency, reducing ROS production, and restoring the mitochondrial energy that eNOS requires for continuous nitric oxide output. Research in the Journal of Lipid Research found ALA supplementation restored mitochondrial membrane composition, improved complex activity, and reduced ROS in vascular endothelial cells. The seed that costs $1 does what the pill cannot touch. Remember the question from the beginning: is this the rest of your life? A pill depleting minerals your arteries need, a number that climbs despite compliance, a system treating the reading without touching the pipeline? The pipeline can be rebuilt. 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed on an empty stomach every morning begins doing what your body stopped doing automatically, feeding the endothelium the omega-3 for nitric oxide, the lignans for hormonal rebalancing, and the fiber for the gut-artery communication modern diets have silenced. 7 days, $1, starting tomorrow. Your arteries remember every morning you chose to feed them right. Here's what you learned today. 3 things happen. Blood pressure falls through ALA prostaglandin rebalancing, lignin-driven eNOS activation, and soluble fiber bile acid binding, reducing arterial LDL, hormonal balance shifts as enterolactone inhibits aromatase and reduces SHBG, freeing testosterone, and the gut-artery communication channel reopens as butyrate-producing bacteria thrive, and enterolactone reduces arterial LDL oxidation. 3 methods. Morning ground flaxseed in warm water or yogurt, empty stomach every day. Ground seed plus cold-pressed oil plus black pepper before lunch 3 times per week. And evening flaxseed in warm milk with magnesium glycinate and honey 3 nights per week. Ground always. Refrigerated always. Empty stomach always. Starting tomorrow. If this video gave you the science, the method, and the confidence to replace an expensive daily pill with a $1 morning seed, hit that like button right now and subscribe to Men's Vitality Hub. Every week, I bring you honest science and practical protocols for men who are serious about their health after 45. Tell me in the comments, have you ever tried flaxseed before? And did anyone ever tell you that whole seeds pass through completely undigested? Drop your honest answer below, because your answer helps another man over 45 understand that the most important word on his flaxseed bag is not organic or non-GMO. It is ground. 1 tablespoon. Ground. Refrigerated. Empty stomach. Tomorrow morning. I will see you in the next one.